What is going on, guys? This is Chen Prabhakar, and welcome to this beautiful live stream that we're having with Brock Heasley for The Shift this Easter season. This is going to be a very special live stream. I'm very, very excited. A little bit about myself. I am an actor and producer, and I've worked on several Angel projects already, and one of my hopes was to be in every single project made by Angel Studios. That hope has failed, and I am now sad. Just kidding. No, I am very happy to be here. I'm very excited to share and have an adventure with Brock this afternoon because Brock is actually a dear friend of mine, and so very, very excited to discuss with him all the things that's been going on for The Shift. And this Easter season is going to be amazing. Now, we've got a couple of new merch updates that we want to talk to you about. We have some BTS content with director Brock Heasley, and we also have some very cool updates about the film and also where to watch it. But the biggest, most important thing are giveaways. We've got some giveaways for you all. So we're going to give away a free t-shirt to one lucky person on this live stream. So if you're watching and paying attention, be prepared to possibly own a new t-shirt, which is very, very exciting. I mean, look at those shirts. Those are amazing shirts with those incredible designs. Now, to enter, go ahead and comment a question that you may have for Brock Heasley. Now, we also have a very, very special giveaway that we will also mention later on in the stream, so please stay tuned for that. Now, with all of that being said, please introduce, I'm going to introduce Brock Heasley right now, but please, in your heart, have a warm welcome for the Shift creator and extremely popular Empty Tomb design, Brock Heasley. Brock, I hope you're there. If you are, there you are. How's it going, my man?
I am here. Hey, Sharon, how's it going, man? How are you?
Doing so well. Okay, you guys, I have to say, Brock is genuinely such a good soul, good human being. I mean, it was interesting because listen, okay, Brock, listen, this is my time. This is my time to shine. You just sit there and you take the praise, okay? Take the praise, buddy. No, here's the deal. When I first started working with Angel Studios, I was working on different projects and different things like that. People kept on talking to me about Brock Heasley, and they kept saying, hey, you know who's going to know the question to that? Brock Heasley, or the answer to that, excuse me. And so I was like so stoked to talk to you and to learn from you, and you were doing a lot of guidance, especially when I brought some different projects. You gave me a lot of notes and a lot of things to help me out. But then the craziest thing happened. We realized we had an even deeper connection because your brothers, Tyler and McKay, happen to be roommates of mine in college. And I'm like, what in the world? Like we had like this crazy, weird Heasley connection that almost felt like Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, but I don't know, it was just weird. It was just a very weird, strange thing. So yeah, I don't know. Like, what were your thoughts on that whole situation that was going on?
Yeah, no, it was such a disparate connection because there was literally no crossover between Angel and the fact that you were roommates with my brothers. And yeah, when we made that realization, I mean, just look, the world is small, people. The world is. Don't let them tell you there's 7 billion people out there because they're not. There's like 5, and we all know each other. So
we all know each other. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I know, it's such a weird thing. And I remember, though, when we were talking, you were getting ready to make The Shift. And another thing was your short film that you had made to get The Shift going. I remember it was, oh my gosh, who was in that? It was Chris and Tremendum. Oh my gosh.
Travis.
Travis, yes.
Chris and Travis.
Travis, yes. Yeah. And he was in it. And I'm like, wait, what? And Travis had told me about you as well. So there were all these like weird, interesting connections. So when I saw the short film, I thought it was so cool. It was so interesting. And then getting to see the feature for the first time, I was just so blown away at how well it was produced, how well it was made. Like, props to you, man. Like, it was so well made and so well done. And making a film is not easy at all.
No, it's not. Well, thank you. And of course, massive props to the team that came alongside me. It's hard, as you know, it's hardly a solo affair. So, but yeah, there's been a lot that's happened since that feature film, since the short film into the feature film. And one of the biggest things, of course, is how many great people we bring alongside us to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a journey when you think about it, right? And all the things that you're trying to go along the way to make it happen. Now, you also had a lot of nominations for the International Christian Film Festival, which is insane, right?
This just happened like last week. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
no, I mean, this is it. This is the team. This is I mean, it's some of our team. It's really nice to see people get some recognition for the hard work they
yeah.
did on this film.
I mean, so you got best cinematography, Ed Lucas. You have the best supporting actress, Elizabeth Tabish. Best supporting actor, Neil McDonough. Best
Yeah.
actor, Christopher Palaha. I'm saying his name correctly, right? Palaha.
You got
Yeah.
it.
And then, dude, you got two. You got screenplay and director for Brock Heasley, which is amazing, and best picture, Ken Carpenter. I mean, dude, when you have all of these nominations, clearly your film is connecting and it's winning, and
Mhm.
it's obviously like there's something that is like stirring people's hearts, and I think that's the most powerful thing, right? I think.
Yeah, no,
Go
and
ahead.
that's what's been so satisfying is to see the reaction to the film. I mean, to me, that's what these nominations really signify is just that
Hmm.
there are people for whom this film is really resonating, and it means something to them. And I mean, that's the point of doing it. If you want to make a lot of money and that's really your goal in life, movies are probably not what you should do. Which
Yeah.
isn't to say that we're not trying to make money because obviously we do. We want our investors to be compensated and we want to be able to
Yeah.
make a living and keep doing this, but it's not the primary motivator. And so when something like this comes along and people are saying, yeah, this you deserve this is, or I see this just about every day, somebody will say, yeah, this is my favorite film. Things like that are really really satisfying. Now we have haters too, as everything
Yeah.
does, and that puts things in perspective. I'm not trying to build it up too much,
Yeah.
but this is a film that is I think increasingly beloved as more and more people see it, like yourself, who just you just caught up with it, didn't you?
I,
You didn't
I
you
just
didn't say that, but I'm going to out you. You just
listen.
caught up with it,
Listen, bro, I was
and
on
I
a
think you
different
liked it.
timeline. I was on a different timeline, okay? Until yesterday, I was on a different timeline, and you can't fault me for
Yeah,
that. I mean, frequencies change, man. I mean, things shift around. You know this as better than anyone else.
yeah.
No, you know what's.
No, it's true.
I'll
We're
tell
all
you,
busy.
like, I remember just talking to you in great detail about making this movie years ago. Like you
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had multiple phone calls because I was working on my own projects. You were working on your own projects. And so for you to have this come to completion and for you to release it is just fantastic, man. I mean, making a film is no joke, and to have like the cast that you had is just awesome. And it was just so cool to watch the movie and be like, dude, I feel like I know this film even before it's come out, just because of all the conversations that we've had about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, it's true. Yeah, yeah. It's cool to have that perspective on it. Sometimes I forget moments like that where it was all just theory and yeah, just you and I talking on the phone like about these crazy things we were trying to do, and here we
yeah,
are all these years later and holy crud, it actually happened. I mean,
I
that's still pretty amazing to me.
it's amazing, man. It really is a miracle. Now,
Yeah.
so I got to ask you some questions, Brock. Some very important questions.
Yes.
Now, last Easter, before the shift was released, you announced a new symbol to celebrate the hope and
Mhm.
love of the holiday, right? So
Yeah.
it was the empty tomb necklace. Now, that beautiful symbol has touched the hearts of a lot of people, but everyone kept asking, like, look at those pictures. I mean, look how beautiful those pendants are. But people kept asking, is there something other than necklaces with that design? Because apparently people have other body parts other than just necks. And not everyone likes to wear necklaces, correct? So
Amazing.
what do you
Yes,
think?
I think you're
Yeah.
correct about that.
Yes.
Yes. Good lesson in anatomy.
Thank you. Well, my dad wanted me to be a doctor, and I failed that obviously. But I played doctor on TV multiple times.
Oh, well, there you
Now,
go. Then you're an expert.
thank you so much. Now, I want you to talk to me a little bit about the design of this necklace, and like, why do you think people like gravitated towards it?
Yeah, well, I think it is important to note that for those who haven't seen the shift, and if you're watching this, if you haven't seen it, then
Hmm.
we're going to give you ways to do that. But it is something that does appear in the film. But what a lot of people may not know is that there we go.
Yeah,
There's
there's
Liz
the
is
one right
playing
there. Yeah,
Molly,
Liz
and
is doing it. Yeah.
she's wearing it right there around her neck, and so it's a really important part of the film, not just the necklace itself, but the symbol and what it means. And what a lot of people might not know is that the the symbol and the necklace were not actually created for the film. They were created
Okay.
very much separately, and it was only years after some years had passed, and I was writing the feature film that I
Mm.
then incorporated the symbol into the story of the movie itself.
Okay.
But yeah, the way that this symbol came to be,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those things where I had thought for years about how powerful the symbol of the cross is. It's
Mm,
really iconic. And my background is as a graphic designer. So I think about symbols a lot, and I think about iconography, and I think about design, and how really our lives are littered with design. It wasn't until I became a graphic designer that I understood that every aspect of our lives is really codified by design. Whether you're talking about the interface on your television, to the packaging that your forks come in, just, I mean, everything, even street signs are based, in design theory. And the cross as a symbol, it's not just what the symbol means. Obviously, what the symbol means is very, very significant. It
mm-hmm.
represents Christ crucified, and it represents the
Right.
sacrifice that he made. And that's very powerful and very potent. And there's a reason that people wear it around their neck. But I think that the other reason that they do that is because it's iconic. It's
Yeah.
iconic in its design. It's very
Mm-hmm.
simple. We, as human beings, we are very simple creatures. We gravitate towards
Yeah.
simplicity and abstraction. That's why cartoons are so popular. They abstract the human face and or animals or whatever to the point where it's easily identifiable and recognizable to even children, and it's something that they can enjoy. So that's a whole other topic. But I've always been
Sure.
fascinated by abstraction and iconography, and so I see the power of the cross as not only the meaning of it, but also the design of it. You can recognize it from a mile away.
For sure.
It
Yeah.
is very simple. It's two lines stacked together perpendicular to each other. It doesn't get much more simple than that. And so, but the thing is about the cross is that I feel like it tells like half the story, because the other half of the story of Christ is
The
that he was
resurrection.
resurrected.
Yes.
And it's really the resurrection that fulfills the promise of what he did on the cross. A lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people were crucified, but
Mm-hmm.
only one person came back from it. And
Mm.
so there was this symbol
Yeah.
that had never been capitalized on, of the empty tomb. I had seen attempts at it, but as a graphic designer, I was always really dissatisfied with them. They usually were kind of squarish, or they kind of had like an arc to it, and then there'd be like etchings in it so that you knew it was a rock that was
Yeah.
rolled away from the like brick outlined hole. And so there were a lot of these attempts that I found online, people trying to make pendants or trying to make some kind of a symbol, but it
Yeah.
was always too representational. They
Yeah.
forgot, or rather they didn't recognize the power that was in the cross, and
Mm-hmm.
as far as the way it's actually designed. And so, and this is going to sound totally cliche, but I promise you it's 100% true.
Yeah.
It was an Easter Sunday in 2015. I happened to be in Italy at the time. I was staying with friends in Italy, and it was Easter Sunday,
Mm.
and this image popped into my mind, this really, really simple image, which is what it has to be iconic.
Yeah.
And I just did this sketch. It was just two circles. This is the sketch right here. Two circles, one filled and one open, and they're kind of overlapping each other. And that was it. That was the whole thing. And I thought, my
Wow,
goodness,
man.
that's a decent, like,
Yeah.
iconographic, simple symbol. And then as I sat there on that Easter Sunday in my friend's living room in Italy, um, and you can't be in Italy without thinking about religion, so I'm sure that didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Um, I started developing it more, and so then I turned it into this watercolor sketch. And I actually had my iPad with me there. And if we can go to that, that's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's the watercolor sketch. So I just kind of kept on developing it, and thinking about it more. And then I got home to the States, and I busted out my computer, and I took those sketches and I developed them even further in using Adobe Illustrator. So now I'm taking it in my computer, and I designed this very
Mm.
simple symbol. And that symbol right there, that's the first thing I did on the computer. And that today, that top symbol there, that is still the exact symbol that everything is based on. I never changed it. Once I
Wow, man.
landed on the exact proportions, and it took me a while. As simple as that looks, to get those exact proportions where the open ring is just so thick, and it's
Mm-hmm.
and the closed one, the closed circle is overlapping it just so much, getting that so it felt just right and had the right balance. that really was something I focused on. It may seem like who cares, it doesn't matter, but it
Mm-hmm.
really, really matters to me. As a designer, I like to be precise. As a perfectionist, I especially like to be precise. And so it was something I really put a lot of focus on. And
Yeah.
that to this day, that is the exact same symbol. And then of course below that, I did the design of the necklace, just kind of like thinking in my mind of how that could be. So then I took this design that I'd done in
Mm.
my computer, and I brought it to my uncle. Now my uncle is a jeweler, and
Okay.
I think of crosses, I think of people wearing crosses, and so I took it to my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat together in his office. This is back when I had hair. This is how long ago this was. We sat together in his
Yeah.
office, and we designed on the computer this necklace. And at first,
Mm.
we had the idea of the chain attaching at either end. We even went so far as to turn what we're doing there. We made it into a 3D model, which is what you'll see next.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then let's see, there it
Wow.
is. There,
There it
we
is,
turned
right
that
there.
into a
Yeah. Take a
3D
look.
model in his
Mm-hmm.
computer. So this was one of the first 3D models we did. We were thinking about the back initially. Now the symbol, the pendant in the movie, you'll see it says he lives on the back.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we didn't really know what to do with that. We thought there would be an option maybe to put different kinds of messages. So my uncle came up to my best friend and just stuck that in there.
Mm.
I saw that and I immediately knew, oh, that's wrong. Like that's not
And,
that's
and
not
it's
what this says.
and it's one
This
of those
needs
things.
to tie in more directly.
Right. And the thing is like, because you were so inspired, right? And because like it just
Yeah.
came to you, right? It's like whenever something is like trying to experimented with that isn't right, you automatically instantly knew it. You're like, nope, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Brock, like,
exactly.
I
I mean,
didn't
and
even know
that's
the
you
story
got to
about
be
you. This is
open to that
amazing,
when you're
man. Yeah.
yeah, you got to be open to that when you're creating to make mistakes because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know something's wrong until you actually just do it. And
Yeah.
that was kind of how this process went. And then that kept going. So we
Mm.
took that design, and then my uncle went and built the first pendant right there in his store.
Wow.
So this is him working on that very very first pendant and
Mm-hmm.
putting it together and fashioning it. And he's a real craftsman. Like he designs jewelry and makes it to order. He's actually just retired recently, so he's not doing this anymore. But
Yeah.
for decades, this is what he did. And it was me going in week after week, sitting with him in
Yeah.
his workshop. I'd even bring my daughter with me. Here's a picture of my daughter
Okay.
in his workshop at the back of his store, just kind of hanging out with us. Where is it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Where's the next picture?
The next picture will be coming
It's
up
not
here
coming
soon.
up.
Yeah. Um,
I think our
there
there
she
we go.
is. There she is.
So
Yeah.
so that
Oh, that's
little
not.
girl. So see
Yeah.
that little girl there. That little girl is 13 years old now. This is
Okay.
all been taking a while to get to screen.
Yeah.
And then this next one is my wife. This is my wife wearing the first pendant. So this is
Wow.
what my uncle crafted. And as soon as she put it on and she wore it, again, we knew immediately, oh, this is wrong. This is
Mm.
wrong. Because what happened is that it looks all great in that photo, and in the next one where you see kind of a closer up shot of it. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is that as she moved around, it would get lopsided. And oddly
Ah.
enough, the open part of it would hang down lower than the closed part
Then
of
the
it,
closed
which is
part. Okay.
heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
so and she, my wife, she wore it for a couple of days, and she's like, with my favorite necklaces, it's always attached on the chain so that I can kind of move it back and forth and kind of fidget
Yeah.
with it, which is something I had never thought about because I don't wear necklaces, but
Yeah.
she does. So, anyways, so she figured out very quickly this is not the right design, and so then we went about making what became the design that everybody's familiar with, where we have
Yeah.
a loop on the top, and we
Mm.
can run the chain
Take a look.
through it.
Yeah.
And so these are those first models there.
Yeah.
Um,
I love that.
yeah,
And
and then,
that
then we
he lives
landed
right
on it.
there. That's amazing. And I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is, like, it's like right when he landed, like what an inspirational, creative journey to get to this place, right? And it's like it's so simple and it's so powerful, and it's almost like it's almost like you had to go through that whole journey for yourself to get to that point, right? Which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, and guys, I just want you to know that if you just go to shop.angel.com/shift, and because it's all during the Easter sale, everything is 10% off. You have it right there, okay? Now, here's the really, really exciting thing. If you guys are watching this live stream, there's a code right below, and it says Shift Live. So if you type Shift Live when you're doing your checkout, you actually get 5 extra percent off. So it's 15% off. So this is very, very exciting. And there's all kinds of cool new merch you can get. And so, yeah, please go use that during checkout and you'll be able to get 15% off. And that, now remember that Shift Live, that specific code is only on for 1 week. So that extra 5% is only going to be there for 1 week. So please do it right now. These are perfect little gifts that you can give to family and friend for Easter to celebrate the resurrection, and it's fantastic. Now, Brock, can you talk to me a little bit about like launching pre-orders? Because apparently there's like a 14K gold empty tomb necklace that's coming out. Is that correct?
Yeah. So this is what's exciting about today is that we have actually got some new stuff to announce, some new merchandise. The team at Angel Studios. Look, the great thing is that Angel Studios has come along and they saw this necklace that we had put that I wrote into the film, and knew that this would be something people would want to have. And so they've been so great about getting it out into the world. And there's been such a demand for anything related to this symbol, because I think it goes beyond. It does. It goes beyond a necklace. So we have some new items that we're going to announce, but I think the most exciting item today is, as you just said, the 14K gold version. So the current gold pendant that we have available in the store right now is gold plated. So it's sterling silver with a gold plating on it. It's very lovely and it's very nice and it's very affordable. But we've had a lot of people who have asked repeatedly, can we have a 14K version? And we're very excited to announce that as of today, yes, we are now taking pre-orders for the 14K version of the Empty Tomb pendant and necklace.
It's amazing, man. It's so awesome that you have all these like incredible gifts that you can give to people. And like you said, I love the idea that this is now going to help with remembering the resurrection even more, like that life-giving sacrifice that Jesus had. You know, he crucified and now he's resurrected. It's beautiful, man. It's awesome. Now, all of these merch announcements are going to lead to our very special giveaway. So if you order any of the Shift merch items tonight with the Easter discount, you'll be entered into a contest to win a signed Blu-ray copy of the Shift, signed by none other than the director and writer, Brock Heasley himself. And please don't sign it as Bach Heasley. You know, Brock Heasley is what you're doing. Yeah, just sign it with your name.
Now you have to tell the story behind that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys.
Bach
Here's the deal.
Heasley. Yeah, my name's not Bach Heasley.
Okay, his name is not Bach Heasley, but on these Angel Studios cards I've been given, his name was Bach Heasley as the writer, and I was like, "Dude, is this like a cousin of yours, like a Harry Potter type of situation? You put him down underneath the closet or whatnot? Who knows? Yeah, that's going to be Shift Part 2 is my thing. So okay,
now I'm just praying I don't become stuck with that.
Listen, look at Paras right there with that beautiful sweatshirt. You know, I won't call you. I'll call you Brock from here on out. I swear. Okay, now. We actually kind of talked a little bit about this already, and Brock, you were saying a little bit more about creating the whole design of everything, and you had said that this design actually came well before the movie was like released and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Now, what drew you to using that necklace to be a part of the actual film?
Yeah, well, when it came time to writing the film, I mean, look, it's a giant puzzle whenever you're putting a story together, and you have a lot of different moving pieces. And I had a situation in the film where I had our main character who's separated from his wife and trying to get back to her across dimensions. And so
as one would,
there was this as one, you know, as one often does when separated from their spouse. But there was there's a point in the film in which he is able to view Molly across space and time at this particular movie theater called the Viewer Theater, where he's able to see different versions of her. And he's able to see different versions of her in other realities. She can't see him, but he can see her. And I needed some way for him to recognize which one of these Mollys is his Molly. That was really the problem I was trying to solve, is like, how do I create this in such a way that he sees his Molly and he knows, oh, that's my Molly. That's the one I'm trying to get to. And that's when I remembered, oh, I designed this symbol years ago that never really took off. So the other part of that story is that after we made these pendants with my uncle, we manufactured about 100 of them. and we sold them. And we sold all of them. But the problem is that I was absolutely 100% dirt poor when I did this, and I had no money
Yeah.
to market it at all. And so it just died. I even went so far as to like go to, I think we even have a picture of this. I created this display using my graphic design abilities, and I took it to this Christian bookstore and I let them sell it, and they couldn't sell it. But I knew that it was iconic. And so when it came time to make the film, this is some of the original packaging that I did. Really, really badly done packaging. With the packaging that Angel
Yeah.
Studios has come up with is way better. The next one is also one of the first packaging that I did. Very, very low rent,
Yeah.
very cheap. I think it cost me like $3 a piece to make this packaging, and I like hand stamped them in my bedroom. I actually built every single one of those original runs of the necklaces. I built those myself, and like, I would have to take the pendant with the loop and the necklace, and I put them all together myself. And here's the display that I made for this Christian bookstore that I set up. Really nice display. I think I did a nice job on it.
It's
but
fantastic
people
job,
didn't know
man.
what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. Like we just didn't do any real advertising, and so it just kind of died. So it lay dormant. And then here I am writing this movie. I need this thing for him to recognize her, Molly. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to take this abandoned concept. At that point, it was abandoned. I had 2 more necklaces left, and I'll be honest, I kept those 2 necklaces because in the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, I'll find a way to get it back out into the world. I'm going to keep these 2, just to find a way. And so I wrote it into the script that when he sees Molly, he knows that she's the one wearing this pendant, this really unique, at that time, a very unique symbol that nobody else has. Now everybody's got it because people love it. But that was really it. That was the reason I put it in there. And thematically, it fit in so well with the film. So much of the film is about hope. It's about hope in the middle of darkness. And there's almost no darker time in the world than those 3 days between when Christ was crucified and he was resurrected, when the apostles had absolutely no idea what was going on. And they just thought that everything that was just done, and that perhaps Christ wasn't even who he said he was. I mean, there's all kinds of thoughts I'm sure that were going through their heads.
Doubts, worries, like all the things,
exactly.
Because everything could have been just like, it was like, because you imagine like in the times of like the greatest level of anxiety that you face in life, or like the greatest level of darkness, right? What can bring hope? I mean, I was kind of making a joke or thinking about it of like, wow, what a expensive and 2-hour long commercial to sell these necklaces. But the truth of it is like, what a powerful message that is, right? Because in that scene, and we're gonna like actually dive into this because we've got 2 scenes from the shift that we want to show you all. And we want to break down what the symbol means in each of those scenes. Now, before we watch those scenes, again, guys, you can actually watch the full film by purchasing the DVD at shop.angel.com/shift, or you can actually gain early access to streaming through the Angel Guild. Check that out at www.angel.com/guild/join the shift. There it is, right there. Or you can also,
and it's also available at Amazon and Apple, and
all
YouTube,
those wonderful places
like that too.
Amazing. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Well,
yes, go ahead.
And before we get to those scenes, because we want to dive into some scenes from the movie, and I want to talk a little bit about how the empty tomb works, and within those scenes, there are actually some other new items that we have to debut today.
Wait, what?
Besides the 14K pre-order, we have some new shirts and some sweatshirts, and I think we've got photos of those.
Well,
if
dude,
we can call them up.
Look at this.
Yeah, there's that one, but that one's been around for a little while. But we got some new prints. We got some new stuff. Here we go. Right here.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah, this is our brand new hoodie here.
Okay, I like this one right there. Yeah. Oh, I like that one too.
Brand new long sleeve shirts as well.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can tell in these photos, but that's actually a cream colored print, not white. So it's really nice, and it really complements the color and the fabric of the shirts themselves. They're really, really cool designs.
I think what's really cool is like you have all these different styles and different things that can like really symbolize hope. It's interesting, Brock. I don't know if you know, like, I mean, we've had conversations about this. In fact, no, you and I specifically have had conversations about this, but we talked about how a lot of times people right now in our lives are just feeling an incredible lack of hope, right?
Yeah.
And they're full of a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, and it's like this is just definitely like friend to friend talking. We get on the phone and we'd have like a discussion here and there about different things like that, right? And
Yeah.
we talked about like, hey, well, what can we do right now to increase joy, to increase hope, right? So if
Mhm.
everyone's lives right now are symbolic of the apostles' 3 days after the death of Christ, but before his resurrection, right? We're in that sense of darkness. What do we do? How do we help people? How do we help instill that sense of, hey, it's okay to keep going during this tough time? And I
Yeah.
think that these designs and stuff that you've created are fantastic because, like you said, like that that iconic symbol of the cross, and like now this iconic symbol of hope right here can really symbolize, hey, look, I know it's hard to see. I know it's so difficult to see what is ahead when you've never seen anything like that before, right? When you've
Mhm.
never
Mhm.
experienced a light like that, like these apostles would have, right? And so I
Right.
think it's a beautiful thing that you created to, like, you might think of these as like, oh, these are just like fun merchandise or whatnot, but behind it all is this incredible message, right? And so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really excited that you've got all these like different things that people can purchase, can have with their lives, that can really symbolize that hope. That can say, hey, you know what? I know it's tough, but we can keep going, right? And
Yeah.
we can keep going because of what he did. So yeah, I love it.
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And I think,
Yeah,
hopefully, I hope that as people watch the film,
yeah,
that message comes through loud and clear. Because that's really to me the. I think there's a lot of different things you can take away from the shift. Those are my favorite kinds of movies. Always have more than one
yeah.
takeaway. But if there's a main takeaway, I think it is. I think it's just that one word, 4 letters, hope. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's right there on your shirt.
Yep.
It really is what it's all about. But it's also a message that within the film, our characters aren't always on the same page as far as what they
Yeah.
should be having hope in. And
It.
that's
Yeah.
one of the interesting things I think about the film itself is that it's not so didactic as all that. It's a little bit more complicated, particularly when it comes
Yeah.
to Kevin and Molly and their relationship and how they each see this symbol. Because and it's something I
Mm-hmm.
don't know necessarily everybody's picked up on, but they don't see that symbol the same way exactly.
No,
And
I
that's
mean,
something I think is in these scenes we're about to watch.
yeah. In fact, let's go ahead and start watching those, and then we'll dive into it a little bit more. So
Yeah.
let's take that first scene right now.
You're acting like it's not even happened. Like it. I can't.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing. It's like yesterday. It just happened.
I couldn't save them. I couldn't save her. I couldn't save us.
You're
Awesome.
acting like it's not
Nope.
even happened.
Just
Okay,
start it
so-
over.
Yep, we start over.
What
Do
do
we
you
have the?
want me to do?
Okay, thank you. What did you want to communicate about the empty tomb in that scene?
Yeah. So this is something where Kevin is giving. I don't think that scene actually completed. There was a little bit more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
But people, I'm guessing most people who have watched this have actually seen the film. But Kevin is giving this pendant to Molly, and I'm going to spoil things if you haven't seen it. But their son has gone missing, and he was taken from them and right under their noses while they're out at the grocery store. And
Mm-hmm.
Molly is really struggling. She's really struggling. She's returned to drinking where she gave it up years ago. She's returned to it. Kevin is going to work and he's trying to, he's probably dealing with it in not necessarily better than her, but certainly he hasn't given back into drinking like she has, and so he's really feeling the need for her to kind of snap out of it. It's kind of like, hey, he's gone,
Mm-hmm.
but you're giving into grief in a way that like I can't go there with you.
Yeah.
And so he finds this necklace with this symbol of the empty tomb, and he gives it to her, and he flips it around, and it says the words "He lives." And in the film, as you just saw, that actually triggers Molly. Like she's like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Right.
Because part of Kevin's whole thing is, hey, you're giving up hope. Like you've so given into grief here that you've given up hope, but he could still be out there. Like we don't know, And so for Kevin, it's almost like a dual meaning. It's like, hey, we believe in the resurrection and we believe in this, but also he lives on the back, he lives, double meaning here. And that's kind of what he's trying to communicate to her. And it's almost like a passive aggressive, like, why don't you just go along with me on this?
Yeah.
And she is, she's recognizing it for what it is. And here's a guy who's just like trying to rush her through the grieving process. And that's not necessarily the way to handle this situation. And as we can see, she's finally just like, give it to me. If that's going to make you feel better. See, now she transitions to, I'm feeling bad, to fine, like you're making me feel worse. So maybe I'll just make you feel better and I'll just take it. But of course, that's not what he wants. He wants her to genuinely take it. Yeah. And so they're really at loggerheads here. And I think for me as a married guy, this is a familiar thing. I mean, my wife and I haven't lost a child or anything like that. But we've definitely not always been on the same page in the way that we're handling a difficult situation, where emotionally we're not in the same place. Either maybe she's just, affected much. It's a heavier thing than it is for me and her. I feel like maybe she's dragging me down, and it's kind of like, can't you just get over it because you're making me feel bad? I think there's some of that going on here. So this symbol of hope actually becomes a symbol of division for Molly and Kevin, at least at this point in the film.
At this point, yeah.
At this point. Now, the scene we're going to watch next is much, much later. It's actually years later. And we see that the symbol becomes something else entirely.
Cool.
Something else. Sorry.
Molly!
Kevin. Is that Kevin?
Hey,
Wow.
it's me.
Are you all right? Do you need help?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine now that I'm here with you. Hey, I don't know how much time I have, and there is too much to explain, but the one thing that means more than anything, I love you.
Do not.
No matter
do
where,
that.
no matter when. I
Don't.
love you so much.
Do not do that. What are you doing? You were the one who ended things, remember?
I know it wasn't me.
But it's fine. It was hard, and I've moved on, okay? I've found someone else, and I'm happy now, and you found someone else too,
Hold on a second. I know this is gonna be really hard. It's impossible for me to explain, but whoever it is that you're talking about isn't me. When I left, there was a new Kevin, and he shifted it in the...
You're not making any sense. Look, I can get you in touch with my sponsor.
Is everything okay over here?
We're good. Look, I would never, I have never given up on us.
But you did. Kevin, it's over. You need to learn to let go.
You're wearing the pendant.
Sir, please, I need you to exit.
Just
the
give me
mall.
a second, please. Sir, please. I thought you hated it.
No,
I don't hate it.
he's not cooperating.
I wasn't ready for it.
I know that. And I'm so sorry that I didn't give you that time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why are you still wearing it?
So it reminds me that one day we'll be with our son again.
Yeah. Molly, I hold on to that hope, too.
Yeah. So
Brock, I love that.
here,
Yeah.
that scene still kind of gets me. That
Yeah.
we actually shot that the second day of filming. That was Liz and Chris meeting for the first time and doing that.
Great
scene.
way to like
um,
get them to meet together, like one of the most
Right,
amazing
right.
scenes
Let's,
ever.
let's perform the most emotional
Yeah.
end of their relationship. Well, let's do that.
Yeah.
No, but look, you can see right there, it becomes something different. And I love, look, I gave Kevin a little bit of emotional intelligence here. It's
Yeah.
only here at the end that he realizes that his big mistake was just not giving his wife enough time. We can't hurry people through the grieving process. We
Yeah.
can't. Everybody grieves in a different way and on a different timetable. And now that Molly has passed through that, now the symbol can mean what it means, what it's
Yeah.
supposed to mean to her,
I
and
love,
she sees it as for what it is.
I love, and yeah, I love how she said, I didn't hate it. I just wasn't ready for it. Right. But I am
Exactly.
now. Right. Like that whole idea of like, sometimes we're not ready to receive that light, that healing just yet.
Mhm.
But it's always there. It's available. Right. And when we're ready
Right.
for it, it comes. I think it's beautiful, man. Like it was just such a nice scene. It's so perfect. I love that. And
Yeah.
it's like sadness and hope, and it's kind of crazy. I was thinking about this whole thing. I have a friend, a married couple, that lost their youngest daughter, drowned in a hot tub, and it was
Oh gosh.
so awful. Just so awful.
Yeah.
And and it was just a week prior. I was talking, everything was going great. Their family had moved to Florida, everything was all wonderful, and then this happened. It was such a tragedy, right? And to
Yeah.
see both of them come together in hope and love, like it's unbelievable,
Right.
like the healing that took place. And I'm sure they both felt different emotions. Like some felt like really, really low, other felt a little higher. But like in those moments to come together, like when you were writing the scene and all of this stuff was happening and they lost their son, I couldn't help but think about them and what they were going through.
Yeah, I bet.
And what anyone is going through. But the symbol, man, it's hope. It is hope. And when people are ready for that, that hope can come in and help heal. It's just awesome.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah.
So, Brock, I want to talk to you a little bit about the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is being released April 5th. Is that right?
Yeah, that's our big announcement about the soundtrack tonight, is that it is officially being released April 5th, and that's just a couple of weeks away. It's really, really close.
That's awesome. Now, I believe we have a preview. Is that correct for this? So you can kind of listen a little bit?
Yeah. So one thing that nobody has ever heard before is they haven't heard what I've heard. They haven't heard these tracks by themselves outside of the movie. And I am so excited for people to hear this soundtrack, because the music that Dan Hasseltine and Matt Nelson, our composers, made for this film is really, really remarkable. And it's really varied. Like as much as the movie kind of mixes genres, I think the music does the same thing. And anybody who's watched it several times, I know a lot of people watching right now have watched this movie many, many times. I'm sure you've watched it enough times now, you've probably been able to note more of the music. But even then, you're not able to quite hear what the music is really doing, because there's all this dialogue and special effects and everything. So I'm so excited people are finally going to be able to hear this music all by itself. And that's what's really exciting about what we're going to show you next, is that we're going to show you a scene from the movie where we've stripped out all of the sound effects and all of the dialogue. So you get to actually hear, this is track 2 off of the soundtrack, Do You Like Tea? Completely free of all other noise. You get to just hear this song the way that I heard it for the first time, which is just all by itself. And it's just gorgeous. And this will be on the soundtrack, releasing April 5th.
Awesome.
Kevin.
Kevin, Molly, hi. I didn't come over here honestly expecting a date, but I feel like that's where this is going.
Maybe. I do find you attractive.
gosh,
I mean, that's just gorgeous.
dude.
That's just
Seriously,
gorgeous.
my goodness. Thank you, Brock. I'm gonna go home and just like wipe tears off of my eyes this Friday evening. That's what I'm gonna be doing, dude. Wow, like that is powerful. That is so powerful. That is just uplifting, and it's just hope, man. Like it just feels like it just feels full of hope. It's beautiful to watch scenes like that without their audio and just feel the
Yeah.
emotion that they're probably feeling, you know, like this is like kind of like the underlying thing. I wish sometimes, like even in our own lives, we just had like a soundtrack playing without us, you know, like communicating dialogue. So you can just kind of like
Right.
feel what's going on. But
Yeah, hey, this
yeah,
song is just gonna do it all for
yeah,
me. What I love especially about the work that Dan and Matt did on that,
yeah,
and also I got to give credit to Avery Bright, who came alongside them for that particular track and for a few others to help with the string arrangements. Did a really
yeah,
remarkable job with that, and Stephen Williamson put it all together. But they, if you watch it that way, and the
yeah,
story's being told, it's really being told through the music. You
yeah,
really, in a lot of ways, don't even need the dialogue at all. I feel like they hit all those beats just right, to where you can track it emotionally, like
yeah,
exactly what is happening. It's remarkable work. I'm really glad that it's going to get its own release. And also, by the way, something really really cool about this release, for music nerds, and anybody who cares about such things, which I do. So I think
hmm,
it's very cool. Sony Music Classical is actually who's releasing the soundtrack.
cool,
We're going out on the Sony Music Classical label, which is very very cool. To have the Sony Music stamp of approval on this particular soundtrack, I think is just awesome. So there's a partnership there with them and with Angel Studios, that I think is just great. So I'm so excited for Dan and
yeah.
Matt to have their music released in this way, in a really top notch way. It's going to be available everywhere because of that.
That, it's gonna be so awesome. I mean, you know, honestly, like the thought that I had actually was, if you've seen the movie Up, the very first like
Hmm.
5-7 minutes of that movie, or 10 minutes, was no dialogue really, just music and like these
Yeah.
beautiful images. And you instantly were like, oh my gosh, like why am I crying already? You know? And just like watching
Yeah.
just that scene with that music, I felt similar emotions. I'm like, oh man, like it's good. You could see their love, you can see like the optimism, the hope, and then like knowing
Yeah.
like what life is going to throw at them, you know, is it's just really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to kind of wrap things up a little bit, but I want to like I know for sure that people have been responding so positively to your beautiful designs of hope, right? And I want to take a little bit of time right now and just like, kind of read some of the reviews that's been kind of going on right now, as they've like purchased the
Mhm.
necklace or like the t-shirts or whatnot. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. All right, so we
Cool.
went to see the movie. It was great. Then saw the jewelry advertisement online. I knew my wife would love it. Her birthday was coming up, and it was a perfect gift, and she absolutely loves it. Beautiful, beautiful,
Sweet.
beautiful. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Love the movie and absolutely love the jewelry, and was able to gift a necklace to my best friend who is battling cancer, and she wears it every day. I mean, oh my gosh, like dude, like
Wow.
that is powerful, man. Like that is
That's the whole point right there.
that is
I
the
mean,
point, right?
that's
It's
awesome.
simple yet
That's really
meaningful.
great.
Love it. I mean, honestly, like when people are going through so much struggles and challenges in their life, like having just like a little symbol that just says, "Hey, I'm going to look at this, and this image is going to give me some hope as I'm going through
Yeah.
my my hardships and whatnot." It's just so tough, right? So
Totally. And look, we don't want to make more of it than it is.
yeah,
At its core, it's a couple of shapes shoved together and fashioned out of metal. Like
hmm,
clearly that's what it is. But it's a symbol,
it's
and
the meaning
symbols
behind the
are
symbol.
powerful.
Yeah,
It's about what it means. And if it can
yeah.
mean that for somebody, if somebody can look at
Okay.
this and they can, I know for me that's how it works. I see something like that. The symbols that mean something to me, which this one does quite a bit. That's what it does. It just reminds me, hang on a little bit
Hmm.
more, and that's really what it's about. It's a heck of a lot less about a pendant or a bracelet or anything. It's about
Exactly.
what does this mean to me.
That's so awesome. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up by taking some questions, actually, and give away a Hope t-shirt. So we've
Cool.
got a couple questions coming up. So very, very exciting. Let's go ahead with the first question, please. Okay. are there any plans for a Shift Part 2?
Are there
Brock?
plans for a Shift 2? There are not plans for a Shift 2. I have
Well, which timeline
other
are you talking about?
stories.
Okay.
Right. In this
Yeah.
particular, sorry, in the timeline and world that we all live in, there are no current plans for the Shift 2. I do have ideas though about how to perhaps expand on the story that you've already seen. Maybe follow some other characters that kind of intersect with the story you've already seen. That's something that I think would be really fun to explore. Whether or not that could ever happen, whether that's a TV show or whatever it would be, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I think the Shift would be something that would have to grow in its fandom over time to for that to be something that we would go and do. So, hopefully something that can happen. I would love to tell more stories. I think that the mythology is rich enough that there's a lot more to dive into and a lot more themes and things to uncover within it. So love to see it happen. Don't know if it will.
Okay. All right. Well, and we're going to keep going with these questions because until we get our winner. Now, our second question. Okay, this is by Michael Jones. Do you have a pendant that is a little heftier for men, or is the loop of pendant large enough to accept like a thicker chain?
I do think that the
question.
loop of the pendant is thick enough to accept a bigger chain. I'm thinking, I don't have one in front of me, so I'm just thinking from memory, but I do think it could accommodate that. I think you might have to squeeze it a little bit to open it up a little bit more, but I don't think that'd be very hard to do. A pair of pliers would do that pretty easily. We don't have anything designed specifically for men yet for the pendant. I mean, technically a man could wear it, although I've never seen one do it. But it is something that we have thought about. And it is something that I have definitely been an advocate for. Like, let's get something that men can wear as well, because certainly men wear crosses. I mean, that's a thing. And it's just, I think he's right. I think his instinct is right that the chain would have to be a little bit thicker, maybe.
Yes.
So I think there's ways to do it, but it's something we haven't developed yet.
Okay.
But I would say stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Absolutely. Okay. Next question, please. Okay, and Suzanne asks, any chance of seeing deleted scenes? Because she wants to see the original Kevin. And oh my gosh, this just in, Suzanne, you are the winner of the Hope t-shirt. Congratulations. This is very, very exciting.
Yay, Suzanne.
Yes, Suzanne won. Woo, we knew, Suzanne. We knew
Awesome.
If you just believed, if you believed hard enough, if you had hope. Just kidding, but you got the shirt. Congratulations. This is very exciting. Brock, do you even remember the question?
Awesome. Yeah, it was. No, wait a minute. Oh, crud! I did.
Okay. We were just so excited, Suzanne.
Let's see that
We
question
were
again. One
so
more time.
excited about your. Okay.
I know.
Any
I'm so
chance of
excited about
seeing
Suzanne winning.
Yeah, she
Oh,
won
deleted
She had
scene.
so much hope that we forgot about her question of seeing deleted scenes because she
Yeah.
wants to see the original Kevin, the original.
See the original Kevin.
Yeah.
I think I know what she's talking about. So
Mm-hmm.
so we did our short film, and the actor who played Kevin in the short film, Gregory C. Tharp, he played a role in the feature film as well, but unfortunately the scenes were cut out of the film, so no one has gotten a chance to see those scenes. There are a number of deleted scenes. There's actually quite a few deleted scenes. The first cut of the Shift came in at 2.5 hours, and the cut that everybody is now enjoying is closer to an hour 45 minutes. So we've cut like 45 minutes out of the film. So there's a lot that's on the cutting room floor. I don't ever want to show you any of those deleted scenes, to be honest with you. I do not want to. You won't find them on the Blu-ray. If we do a special edition of the Blu-ray, I wouldn't anticipate seeing those deleted scenes. Now, it isn't to say that you could never see them. I just don't want you to see them as deleted scenes. I find I am always a little bit irritated with deleted scenes. I don't like seeing things out of context. I'm curious, but as soon as my curiosity is satisfied, the deleted scenes are quickly forgotten. I'm thinking of other films that I've watched and Blu-rays that I've watched. I don't want that to happen to our deleted scenes. They're too precious to me. There's a version of this film that includes those deleted scenes, and that's too precious to me. So what I would much rather do is I would love to someday present everybody with a different cut of the film. We would call it the doppelganger cut. And I'd love to see that cut come out into the world. And we can actually present these scenes the way they're meant to be seen and show you this other version of the film. Now, whether or not that happens, Again, that depends on things like demand and
Demand,
because there is a
timelines,
monetary investment that happens to make that. But
yeah.
but that's really the only way I could ever see the deleted scenes going out into the world is in a different cut of the film.
Brock, that's
It's probably
so
not
awesome.
the answer that Suzanne wanted.
No, but she won a shirt, which is very exciting.
But
Suzanne,
she won a shirt, so
you
there's
won a
that.
shirt. And Suzanne, we're going to contact you via email, and we'll get you all the information you need for you to get that shirt. Okay, so guys, we are going to wrap things up. We want to thank you so much for joining us for this beautiful edition, this Easter celebration. Honestly,
Wait, I have one question before
yes,
you totally wrap it up, Sharon. And
holy cow.
I just ruined your flow, and I apologize.
Let's rewind. Let's go ahead. Like, where's the shifter thingy? Okay, go ahead.
I have just a quick the Blu-ray giveaway.
Yes.
Tell us again how that works. How do people win the Blu-ray signed by yours truly, by me?
Oh man, that's a very good question. And you know what? I'm going to flip back to the original card where that came from. This is okay. Or
And I'm asking because I forgot.
Well, listen.
I don't remember how they win that.
You use the code. You use the code.
Oh, the code.
The code. Now, you guys, I'm going to give you two different options for this code. You can either type Shift Live or Shift Live. Either one will get you to that right answer. You're welcome. You are welcome.
Yes,
I
done.
take some pride in my terrible dad jokes. I'm not even a dad. So, yeah.
No, but you know what? It made me laugh. I didn't see it coming, and I feel ashamed. And but it made me laugh.
You feel ashamed, but you laughed, and that's what people will take away from any of my jokes that I give. But no,
and that's
guys,
a code that people can enter at checkout, right? When they're
yes, absolutely.
When they're
So
purchasing
when you're checking
on our
things out,
shop, they enter that at checkout.
Absolutely. So
They're
remember,
automatically entered, and that's for 1 week. 1 week.
1 week, yes, because we have the Easter sale that's going. That's 10% off. But when you add that code in for that 1 week, Shift Live or Shift Live, you will also get an additional 5%. So it's a very exciting time, and you can get that giveaway for the Blu-ray copy that's signed by director and writer Brock Heasley. Just kidding, Brock Heasley. Sorry, I promised I wouldn't do it, and I did. I'm so sorry. I just came out. I don't know what I was supposed to do.
You broke your promise.
What was I supposed to do? Listen, I'm shifting to a
friends.
different place. Shifting to a different place. No, but here's the deal. The winner of that Blu-ray will be announced on the 29th. But Brock, seriously, man, look, we've been buddies for a while, and I really want to thank you for being on this awesome live stream and being able to connect and like share your thoughts and your heart. And the thing is, I mean, guys, I will say this all sincerity, cards are all done. You know, I'm just saying this from my heart. Like, Brock is truly a gentleman and a scholar. He has helped me so much when I was trying to work on my own projects. But the thing that I liked more about talking film is talking about what he believes in and what I believe in. And we talk about the state of the world, and we talk about challenges that we're facing and whatnot. And so movies like The Shift, these pendants and all these things, they really are to represent something much deeper and much bigger, which is how do we find hope in challenging times? How do we find hope when there is no perceived hope in our minds, right? And that is really the message of the Easter season, which is how do you wait till that third day and keep going? So anyway, Brock, I want to thank you so much, and thank you for all the work you've put into the film and the designs, and hopefully that can help people have that kind of hope to say, hey, keep going till that third day, because it's going to be so much brighter and so much more hopeful than you've ever imagined. So, Brock, thank you again. Any final words you want to add?
No, just you're 100% right, and we're done. So I'm not going to get into it. But anybody who knows anything about me a little bit knows that I've had those 3 days of darkness many times in my lives, and that doesn't make me unique. That's everybody. So I love that this film is out there. Finally, it's out there, and it is giving people that kind of hope that this symbol, that this time of year, really, this week ahead, I'm excited about. Easter is one of my favorite holidays because of that, because it really is. It's the season of hope. We think of Christmas that way, and Christmas certainly is, but Christmas really just points to Easter. I mean, that's really the way I think about it. This is really what it's all about, is what we celebrate this next week. So I'm excited to do so. So and thank you, Jaron, by the way, for just doing this with me. Right? This was so much fun. I used to do this all by myself, and it was miserable and difficult and terrible. And it's so
No.
much more fun to do this with you, my friend.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. And everyone that's watching, God bless, happy Easter, and we'll see you all soon.